And so we're sitting here assuming some players are going to get better. Who are the guys that absolutely, no questions asked, have to get better? It's a requirement that they get better. We've assumed it, but it's a requirement that they get better.
I think it's all the people from last year's rookie class that got to play. I think Brian Branch has to get better, but to me, Jack Campbell is number one. He stepped into the team. I think a lot of it was expected of him to be this guy, and he showed some flashes and was a very solid player. A lot to like about him, but he's got a big step that he can make, I think. He's got to be the guy that eventually unseats Anzalone when Anzalone's career is done here. And I think he's got a big step to make. If I look at one guy, to me, it's Jack Campbell.
Kang, who would it be for you, the one guy that we might get a little presumptuous that he's going to get better, but he needs to. And if he doesn't, we might have a big problem in Detroit.
This may be a super easy, simple, obvious answer, but I got to go with Jameson Williams. He's been my guy since day one, right? I always kept telling you guys, hey, how he never lost the mental side of the game when he wasn't getting the ball and he wasn't getting playing time, that he was always fully engaged, downfield blocking, things like that. So I said, don't give up on this guy, even though he doesn't have the numbers that some of the other younger receivers have. The reason why I think it's important for him to step up is with the loss of Josh Reynolds, and it doesn't seem like they really replaced him. Nope. He should get more volume in targets, which hopefully means more volume in yards and touchdowns and big plays. I expect him to take the next leap so you don't have to depend on that third, fourth receiver as much as you have had in the past. St. Brown's going to get his, as he should. He's an all-pro receiver. But the guy to take the top off and make this offense really explode, or as you say, explode, is Jameson Williams. And by the way, on the Jack Campbell thing, Gator, I think also not just taking over Anzalone's spot, but they blitzed him a lot last year, and he kind of didn't get home as much as he should have. Hopefully, with another year of technique and film and all that stuff, to help Aiden Hutchinson and the rest of that pass rush, when they send Jack Campbell, because he's got that size and athletic ability, he can get there, and that would help a lot too.
So I'm going to go with James Houston. And, what he did his rookie season was it 8.5 sacks in 8 games or 9.5 sacks in 9 games? Yeah, he was a sack a game guy. And I think there's a lot of angst about that edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson and I understand it, but if James Houston truly can be a live in the backfield, get to the quarterback kind of edge rusher, and look, let's face it, it was pretty clear after last year they were trying to expand the repertoire of what it means to play the position. Not just a speed guy off the edge. I think eventually a speed guy off the edge, if that's all you're bringing to the table and everybody knows it, it becomes easier to take care of you and to block you and to account for you. If everybody knows it, if that's all you're bringing to the table is a speed guy off the edge, you have to have some counter moves. You have to be able to do some other things.
Yeah, you have to be a pass rusher. You can't be a one-trick pony unless your one trick is the best anybody's ever seen.
Which could be the case.
Yeah, but you have to have an arsenal, I guess. And I like what he showed certainly that first year, and wish we got to see something last year, but unfortunately the injury prevented that from happening. But I think he's a player that the team is counting on. And maybe I read too much into it based on, hey, they brought in Marcus Davenport, who's, kind of a not that he's a project, but you're going to get what you're going to get if he's healthy.
Yeah, I don't.
But they didn't go out and try to sign Brian Burns or Danielle Hunter, or at least they didn't seem like they were, or, some of these other free agent edge rushers. They didn't go for the big guys because maybe they think that they've got the guy with James Houston. They didn't draft one either.
No.
So does that speak volumes to how much stock they put into James Houston, perhaps what they put into Davenport as well, or just the handful of guys that have the ability to play inside and outside as well, that they think they've got this? And like King mentioned also, and I think very astutely, Jack Campbell.
All right, so Jack Campbell, Jameson Williams, James Houston, players that we assume, I think everybody kind of looks at, they're early in their careers, we think they're going to be better, but they kind of have to get better. Who's the required players that need to get better? Who else should we put on the list